Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host.
And I'm Julia. Hi, everyone. We're so excited you're here today.
Today, we're talking about something many English learners struggle with, and I think a lot of you will relate. Have you ever felt confident speaking English with one person, but when you're in a group, suddenly everything feels impossible?
Oh, yes. That happens to so many learners. You know the words, you know the sentences, but somehow talking to many people at the same time feels overwhelming. Your mind goes blank, or you get nervous, right?
Exactly. And that's exactly why today's topic is important. We're going to explore how you can talk to many people in English confidently, without fear, and actually enjoy group conversations.
And don't worry, we're going to give you practical tips and real examples. By the end of this episode, you'll have strategies to talk in small groups, big groups, or even with strangers without feeling stuck.
So, before we dive in, let me ask you, our listeners, think about the last time you tried to speak English with more than one person. Did you feel nervous? Did you freeze? Or maybe you avoided it completely.
If you felt that way, don't worry, you're not alone. Today we'll show you how to change that fear into confidence. Ready, Jason?
Absolutely. Let's get started. All right, Julia, now that we've introduced the topic, let's talk about why so many learners struggle when talking to different people. I mean, you can speak English with one friend easily, but when it's more than one person, things get tricky.
Yes. One big reason is that people stay in their comfort zone. Talking to just one person feels safe, but when there's a group, you suddenly feel everyone is listening to you, and that can be scary.
Exactly. And another reason is fear of accents. Imagine you meet someone who speaks English a bit differently. Maybe they speak fast or have an accent you're not used to. Many learners panic and think, I won't understand them.
Right, and it's not just accents. Different personalities can be challenging too. Some people are very talkative, some are quiet, and some might ask tricky questions. For beginners, this can feel overwhelming.
And let's not forget thinking speed. In a group, conversations move fast. You need to understand, think, and respond quickly. That pressure can make learners freeze.
Exactly, and social anxiety also plays a big role. Even if your English is good, fear of embarrassment stops you from speaking. You might worry about saying the wrong thing or making a mistake in front of multiple people.
So, to sum up, it's not just your English level. It's comfort zones, fear of accents, different personalities, fast conversation, and social anxiety. Once you understand these reasons, you can start to work on them.
And that's exactly what we'll do in the next part. Shifting your mindset so you can speak English with confidence, no matter who you're talking to.
All right, Julia. Now that we know why learners struggle, let's talk about something really important. Mindset. Many learners think speaking English is like giving a perfect performance.
Yes, they worry about grammar, pronunciation, using fancy words, and suddenly speaking becomes stressful instead of fun.
Exactly. But here's the mindset shift. English is communication, not perfection. Your goal is to be understood, not to sound like a native speaker. Mistakes are normal and expected.
And you know what's interesting? Even native speakers make mistakes. They adjust their speech depending on who they are talking to. You don't need to know every word or grammar rule to have a conversation.
So, if you focus on communicating your message clearly, you'll feel more confident. Don't try to perform. Think, I'm sharing my thoughts. I'm connecting with people, instead of, I hope I don't make mistakes.
And that simple shift changes everything. Suddenly, talking to one person or 10 people doesn't feel scary anymore. It becomes an opportunity to connect and learn.
Exactly. Mindset is the first step to speaking confidently with many people. Once your mindset is right, the next step is learning how to adapt your English to different types of conversations, which we'll cover next. All right, Julia. Now that we've talked about mindset, let's get practical. One reason learners feel nervous is that they don't realize that different people require different types of conversations.
Yes, exactly. Talking to your friend is very different from talking to a teacher, a boss, or even a stranger. Knowing this can make your English much easier.
Let's break it down. First, friends. When you talk to friends, English can be casual. You can use simple sentences, slang, or even jokes. It's relaxed, and mistakes don't matter much.
Then we have formal situations like speaking to a teacher, manager, or professional. Here, your English needs to be polite and clear. You might use longer sentences and avoid slang, but don't worry about perfection. Clarity is key.
Next, strangers. This is tricky for beginners. You want to be friendly, short, and safe. Simple sentences, polite questions, and listening carefully is enough. You don't need to tell your whole life story.
And finally, group conversations. This can be the most challenging. You need to listen to everyone, think quickly, and respond at the right time. But if you know the conversation type, formal, casual, or friendly, it becomes much easier.
So the key takeaway here is understand the type of conversation before you speak. Once you know the style, it's easier to know what words, phrases, and tone to use.
Exactly, and in the next part, we'll give you practical tools and phrases that you can use in all these situations, even if you don't know exactly what to say yet.
All right, Julia. So now we know the types of conversations, but what happens if you don't know what to say? Many learners freeze at this moment. Don't worry, we have some survival tools for you.
Yes, these are simple phrases and strategies you can use anytime you're stuck. First, asking someone to repeat or slow down. You can say, "Could you say that again, please?" Or, "Can you speak a little slower?" It's polite and gives you extra thinking time.
Exactly. Another tool is buying time to think. Phrases like, "That's a good question, let me think," or, I'm not sure, but I think," give you a moment to organize your thoughts without feeling awkward.
And showing interest is also a great strategy. Even if you're not speaking much, you can say, "Really? That's interesting," or, "Oh, tell me more about that." This keeps the conversation alive while giving you confidence to respond later.
Finally, don't be afraid to change the topic politely if needed. For example, "By the way, I wanted to ask you," or, "Speaking of that, have you ever?" This shows you're engaged without struggling to find the exact words.
So these survival tools, asking for repetition, buying time, showing interest in changing the topic, are your safety net in any conversation. Use them, and you'll never feel stuck again.
And the more you use them, the more natural they'll feel. Soon, speaking to multiple people won't feel scary anymore. It'll feel manageable and even fun. All right, Julia, now that we've talked about survival tools, let's discuss another key skill: Adapting your English to different people. This is what separates confident speakers from nervous ones.
Yes, every person is different. Some speak fast, some slow, some are talkative, others quiet. If you can adjust your English to match them, conversations become much smoother.
For example, if someone speaks slowly, it's okay to slow down your own speech. Don't rush. Listen carefully and match their pace. This makes understanding easier and reduces stress.
And with talkative people, you don't have to speak nonstop. It's okay to listen more, nod, or use short phrases like really or wow, that's interesting. This shows engagement without feeling pressured to talk too much.
On the other hand, quiet people need encouragement. Ask simple questions like, "What do you think about this?" or "How was your day?" Give them space to speak, and your English becomes friendlier and easier for them to respond to.
And don't forget formality. Some people, like teachers, managers, or strangers, need polite English. Use full sentences, avoid slang, and speak clearly. But with friends, casual English is perfect. Short sentences, simple words, even slang or humor if you feel comfortable.
So the key takeaway? Observe the person, listen, and adjust. Matching pace, tone, and style makes conversations smoother and less stressful. And the more you practice, the more natural it feels.
Exactly. And next we'll do a mini practice where we role-play real-life situations so you can see how this works in action.
All right, Julia. Now it's time for a mini practice. Let's role-play a few real-life situations so our listeners can see how to talk to many people in English.
Great idea. Let's start with talking to a stranger. Jason, imagine you're at a cafe and want to ask someone about their favorite drink.
Hi, excuse me. I'm trying to decide what to order. What's your favorite drink here?
Oh, I really like the cappuccino. It's very smooth and not too sweet.
See? Short, simple, polite. Even if you make small mistakes, the other person will understand you.
Next, let's try a small group. Imagine you're meeting 3 new classmates. Jason, you start.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jason. How's your first week going?
It's good, but a little busy. Same here, lots of homework. Yeah, but it's exciting to meet new people.
You see? You don't need long sentences. Ask questions, listen, and respond briefly. This keeps the conversation flowing.
And finally, talking to a professional or teacher, short, polite, clear sentences are enough.
Good morning, Professor. I wanted to ask about the assignment. Could you clarify the due date?
Of course, it's due next Friday. Let me know if you have questions before that.
Exactly. Polite, clear, and confident. Listeners, you can practice these situations at home, and soon it will feel natural. All right, Julia. Now that we've practiced some role plays, let's talk about a simple daily training plan. This plan helps learners gradually gain confidence talking to many people.
Yes, the key is small steps. Start simple and build up. For example, Day 1, talk to yourself. Describe your morning, your plans, or what you did yesterday. It sounds silly, but it's a safe start.
Then, Day 3. Talk to one partner, maybe a friend or family member. Keep it casual, simple sentences. Ask questions, listen, and respond. You'll notice it's easier than before.
By Day 7, try a small group. This could be a group chat online or 3 friends in real life. Use the survival tools we talked about, asking for repetition, showing interest, and buying thinking time.
And by day 14, challenge yourself to talk to strangers, online or offline. Order at a cafe, ask for directions, or join an English conversation group. Each small step builds your confidence and speaking skills.
The important thing is consistency. Even 10 to 15 minutes of practice every day makes a huge difference. Little by little, you'll go from nervous to confident in group conversations.
Exactly. Start small, keep practicing, and don't worry about mistakes. Your English will grow, and soon talking to many people won't feel scary at all. All right, Julia, now let's tackle one of the biggest barriers: fear and embarrassment. Many learners worry about making mistakes in front of others.
Yes, Jason. But here's the truth. Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. The key is to focus on communicating your idea, not on being perfect.
Exactly. And remember, most people aren't judging your English. They just want to understand you. So even if you stumble or say a word wrong, keep going. That's how confidence grows.
Also, don't compare yourself to others. Some learners speak fast, some slow. Your pace and your effort are enough. Each small step builds courage for the next conversation.
So, the takeaway: embrace mistakes, keep speaking, and smile. The more you practice, the less fear and embarrassment will control your conversations. Julia, before we wrap up, let's give our listeners some motivation. Talking to many people in English can feel scary at first, but remember, every conversation is practice and growth.
That's right. Each time you speak, you learn new words, phrases, and confidence. Even a short chat counts. Don't wait to feel perfect. Just start speaking and improve as you go.
Exactly. And here's a secret. The more you practice, the more natural it feels. Soon, speaking in groups or with strangers will feel just like talking to a friend.
So, keep going, be brave, and celebrate every small victory. Each conversation you have is a step closer to fluency and confidence.
Absolutely. You've got this. Remember, courage is built one conversation at a time. All right, Julia, let's quickly summarize today's episode. We talked about why learners struggle talking to many people, the mindset shift you need, and practical strategies to communicate confidently.
Yes, we covered understanding conversation types, survival tools, adapting your English, mini role plays, and a simple daily training plan. Plus, we shared tips to overcome fear and embarrassment.
So, listeners, here's your challenge for this week. Try talking to at least 3 different people in English: friends, family, classmates, or even strangers. Use the tools and tips we discussed today.
And don't forget to be patient with yourself. Mistakes are normal, confidence comes with practice, and every conversation is a step forward.
Exactly. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a comment, share your experience, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on speaking English confidently. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode.